Gives them a lot of power in the later game, but I really like the Tahm Kench until they decided to switch towards the Rel.
Might still be the Rel jungle, because this is also a continuation of LCK teams, specifically T1, started prioritizing this Kench, and LPL teams really putting high prior on the Renata. Obviously T1 played it, but that was specifically in an Ashe lane. And Bin not going to show a new champion, instead going back to the Aatrox. The team finding power of this BLG comp is, especially in the mid game, I think absolutely insane. When you get to late game though with Jax and Kench to protect the Aphelios and the Nazir as well, Gen.G will have a lot of power themselves.
A part of me did expect something like D'Amelio, but I guess they were sitting there thinking to themselves, you know what, his ultimate's not going to have as much value against the composition that we currently see. So instead, if my Aphelios does get ulted on by Jarvan, at least I can then use the Devour, bring him over to safety. So a very traditional front-to-back comp coming out from the side of Gen.G. You have the Rel that's going to be your primary engage. You've got very effective disengage with the use of the Azir ultimate, and then that range that you're going to have with the Aphelios Azir combo. This looks like a very traditional LCK composition, something that's more catered towards that scaling and team fighting while still providing that pressure in the laning phase, whereas BLG are going to look to scrap and skirmish in the early game with a high focus on that bot side of the map.
There was a slight issue with the overlay there. The champions are all in their expected positions. We're not going to see Aphelios mid for Chovy. Sad as it is that we don't get to see something like that come out here in the quarterfinals. For Chovy, it's his 5th quarterfinal in 5 years. Can he go further? Can he make it to the finals, to the promised land as a player? Can Gen.G do that as well? Because over the last few years, they've been domestically dominant, but overshadowed by T1 when it comes to international competition.
And for a first seed of the LCK, that's not enough, right? The expectations are sky high. We'll see if Gen.G today can conquer their demons from MSI and actually take the win here in game number 1.
And for BLG, they just want a repeat of last time. They've only played once, it was a 3-0, and BLG schooled Gen.G. A lot of it coming through Shun, working his way down towards that bottom lane, and here they've got a composition that if he's in bot a lot, is going to help them out no end. We are on to Summoner's Rift once again. Gen.G versus BLG.
It's really tough to consistently get the CC. So I really like this from Shun. Continued attention towards the bot side. Paze and the Light are pretty full, do have their summoners available, but even blowing them would already be a big win.
Only cleanse on Paze as well. On can look for that handshake. Delight standing in front. There's the ignite. Paze cleanses with a flash follow from Shun means the Paze. Paze the ultimate price bailout on won't get him out of dodge this time. 1-for-1 trade in the bottom lane.
The play is worth it though overall for BLG. The amount of farm and experience, Paze does get a return kill, which is kind of the best case scenario for him, but we were just talking about this bot lane dive, and Shun without any hesitation says, what, just because you see me, you think that's going to stop me? So they can just keep information as to whether or not Peanut is trying any lane ganks, and you can see that BLG's game plan is so committed to playing around bots.
On's going to get rooted, he doesn't have flash, remember, flash forward by Peanut and On pays the price. In the bottom lane, Gen.G back on the board. Paze gets his 2nd of the game. Doran trading in the top lane. Grandmaster's Might onto Bin. Bin tries to turn it back around. Doran trying to get the empowered autos off. Both of them still have their flashes, but it's a trade of ultimates and not much more.
I mean, credit to Gen.G. I thought the BLG's control was good, but those wards that I was trying to highlight did disappear. They didn't have information on where Peanut was. They were pushed too deep into the lane when they didn't really have much information, and Gen.G made that look easy. They punished On's lack of summoner spells, and now they have the kill lead.
Ooh, Doran might get caught here.
Does have flash. Counter-strike early. Shun trying to get away from it. Eats a honey fruit, and it's fine for the moment. Doran forced away. Wave is crashing in, but you can see Peanut already worked his way up through this topside jungle, so if a dive does occur or materialize, Peanut is in the right position at the right time, and the Nut God's looking for something as they go forward. Bin has to flash away. Doran has a flash follow. Counter-strike coming out, and Bin is locked up and sent packing by Gen.G.
And Peanut, his pathing this game has been immaculate, covering for the early dive. Yes, they're able to get the kill, but at least Paze gets a counter. And we immediately saw the pings go down. However, Gen.G trying to contest this hero there. I don't know if Peanut, reinforcements are on the way.
Delight's on his way across. No Fate's Call yet for Elk, so half the time on that, but they do have the hostile takeover if they want to look for more. Shun goes in, they find Paze. Cataclysm down, but the Devour already used by Delight. Now the hostile takeover popping as well. The shield from Paze, he tries to cleanse away, but he's slowed. Severum's gonna heal him up, but Peanut pulled back with a handshake, and BLG win out the skirmish.
Really big win there for BLG, and this is the disrespect that we saw Gen.G show against T1 as well. The early power of this Kalista Renata. The
breakout, standout players of the entire tournament. People were putting him in the conversation for best performing AD as Chovy.
Gao has flash, but he's not going to be able to get away from Peanut, who lands the stun immediately. The shockwave only catches onto Chovy, and Yagao is going to get chased down here. Chovy puts down the soldiers, and Yagao is buried beneath their feet. Doran with a good jump away, but Shun chases in, and still it's only Shun that's picked up kills for BLG.
And it's punch and immediate counter punch. Gen.G are able to punish the Orianna, even if Flash Up Yagao realizes that there's too much damage available, doesn't actually get to survive, but Doran does get punished for his earlier play as Elk, there's no wave, so we'll see if they're able. Pace is trying to bring it in, but I don't think that there really is a window with more people from BLG moving over, and Gen.G decide the better of it. In his play, I think you can see he has a lot of these moments as the contest is going to come through.
TP in. Shun can look for this. Counter TP burnt by Yagao. Shun on the front line. Bin's going to dash across the border. Ripped out down to 1,000. Hostile takeover, though, is going to do so much work. Pays already berserk as the light is forced away, and now Doran's in the midst of BLG, and Bin is looking to send him packing into the recycling. He goes. Come back next time as Bin chases the rest of Gen.G away. Gen.G picked this fight, and they do not want it anymore. Chovy has to burn the flash as the voyage out from Delight is abyssal, and the fight for Gen.G was abysmal.
It's at this point in the game where BLG want to fight you, and Gen.G, Chovy looks for a play, gets the flash out of Elk, but it's just a consolation prize as Gen.G falls short in the fight, trying to force this when it feels like BLG at this point in the game should be so much stronger.
They can't get to this, right? There's no vision. They have to try and make either for the play for the fight or go for Nash, but
and Peanut can try and walk across here, but Yagao's doing a really good job of keeping the ball down. Peanut now going to try and chase forward, but Yagao is in the right position to stop them. The Magnustorm for Peanut, he's nowhere near them! It's just miles away. They got an EpiPen or something, because Peanut not doing anything to them as BLG secure the ocean. And that was a Peanut at Worlds moment if I've ever seen one.
The engage goes wide. Gen.G now don't have an easy way to start the fight. Doran
gonna get brought back, pops the stopwatch, handshake coming out, Moonlight Vigil does hit the Infernum, there's the hostile takeover, Cataclysm onto the backline though, and Doran's been locked up, the Shockwave finds him. The Devourer comes out as Chovy starts to retreat, but already it's 2 kills to BLG, and Gen.G are found wanting by the unwanted aggression from BLG.
And it's again BLG able to very calmly play out this scenario. They set up full control. They know that Gen.G has to walk in. Peanut has to go for a desperation play, but with the ultimate gone, no Magnet Storm, no engage, there is nothing that they can do than the turn from BLG, who are more than happy to look for a fight. That's Soul, and that's Baron.
Now Peanut caught out a little bit, should be able to get his way away from this one. Shun now spots the control ward in the pit.
That's
well
big.
done by BLG to make sure they cleared out all their corners.
Shun.
And Shun can look for more because Peanut dismounted right now. Remounts, you just go for it. EQ in, flag and drag, Cataclysm as well. Delight has to flash as there's Peanut. Infernum from the side means that On is down to half HP, but that's so much invested by Gen.G. And with not too much gain, they have mid-wave prio, but will it be enough? Elder spawns, Elk starts it. Bin keeps Doran and Peanut at bay. No flash for Peanut, remember, just burnt it. But he can get into this fight. The Shockwave finds Chovy, Delight, and Pace now beginning to step it up. Devour available for Delight. Pace dodges the Berserk for the hostile takeover. Already finds one, and Bin is done with this game. The Elder secure. Pace tries to dash away, but Bin puts him in his place as BLG clean up in the river.
And BLG immediately head towards the bot side of the map. Wave is ready. No turret standing there. Doran desperately trying to draw some attention, but it was not enough, and BLG take a resounding victory here in game number 1, and it looks like Gen.G and Messiah might have been half a year ago, but it's not looking that different in game number 1.
A tale as old a time between these two teams, it seems, as BLG come out to an early lead and are able to snowball it away from Gen.G. A few mistakes for Gen.G. Doran as well in the top lane specifically had struggled into Bin after a few good early forays, and BLG never let go of the reins. Gen.G respawning, but the Elder still stands on BLG, and they can look for the fight. The Magnustorm finds 2, but Pays pulled back, and he's just deleted by the laser. Peanut follows suit, and BLG playing with Gen.G as they clean it up to go 1-0 up in this quarterfinal.
Shun's only death to the Nexus at the very end. An incredible game across the board from him in the jungle.